Hi, my name's James from the Picture House, and today we're going to be taking a look at the GODOX LiteFlow, specifically the LiteFlow50 kit, which we've invested here at the Picture House. We decided on this kit out of curiosity and necessity. We had a couple of location shoots coming up where we knew we couldn't get light fixtures into awkward little location areas where we needed to light, so we thought mirrors would be the solution, and they were for the most part, but we also learned quite a lot about them, which we'll be going into in much greater detail in another video. So as a quick overview, let's just have a look at what reflectors you get in the LiteFlow50 kit. They don't include gloves, so we've supplied our own gloves. They are necessary for these mirrors because they're very, very, very fingerprinty, as you can imagine, being a mirror. But in the kit, you get 4 mirrors. So this is number 3. This is the most diffused mirror that you get in the kit of 4. And they're neatly color-coded. So when you put them in the bag, there's also some nice little color-coded ribbons next to each of the slots that these go in, so you know which one goes where, which is quite neat. So this one is number 1. This is the most reflective and the least diffused. So this is gonna have the most punch. It's gonna carry your light the best. You can see how reflective this one is. So this is number 4. You would think that they go up in diffusion strength, 1, 2, 3, 4, which they do for the most part. But number 4 is the exception to the rule because it actually creates a streak of light, but it is still quite diffused. So this is an interesting one. This mirror up here, which is just out of shot on a mega boom overhead, which is reflecting the light which is hitting this product here, is number 2. So this is the second most diffused mirror in the set. So as I mentioned, we invested in this kit out of necessity for our location shoot. We had a couple of scenarios where we knew we weren't going to be able to quickly, safely and easily deploy a large, powerful light source in a certain area. This particular example was a second floor apartment where the access was very, very, very tricky and very limited. It was a very tight, confined space, but we needed to get sunlight through a window. We weren't going to be able to get a light out through the window, so we needed to use mirrors and position the mirror just out of frame in order to replicate sunlight in our scene. We could get the mirror on a C-stand, and we could position it with an arm and articulate it to exactly where we needed it to be. And because they're so lightweight, they're really safe to rig, really easy to rig, and they're really easy to move and reposition. Another great thing about mirrors is that we have the different levels of diffusion. So we can pop a mirror up where we need it to be, and if it's not looking quite right, we can swap the mirror out quite quickly and easily and change the level of diffusion. In order to do that with a light fixture, we need to be able to diffuse that light, either with gel frames, like a 48 by 48, for example, or with a softbox, like an Octabox or a Light Dome 2 or something, where we're kind of limited on the diffusion that we're going to get from those, and they also take up a lot more room. There's a couple of things to mention that you need to bear in mind when using mirrors, and one of those is inverse square law. And without getting too technical and scientific, essentially, the further your light travels, the less power it has. So yes, it's great, you've got a more convincing looking light source because it's traveled further, but also because it's traveled further, you've lost quite a lot of power. So don't expect your 1200 or your 600 to have the same amount of power as it would do if you were to place your fixture overhead. Another thing specifically about the GODOX kit, I don't know about any other kits, but specifically about this one, they don't include any of the mountings, so those are additional extras. They don't include anywhere to put them on the bag, so we've sort of created our own little mini bag in order to place all the little mounting options in there. And they don't include any gloves, so we also keep a pair of white cotton gloves in our little pouch as well. So we wanted to go for a bit of a moody, high contrast scene. We also kicked up a bit of haze into the studio as well for a bit of fun, to create a little bit of drama when we were lighting this product. And firstly, we top lit it with the mirror, and then we tried backlighting it with the mirrors as well. And the reason we wanted to do that is because we wanted to get the mirrors up high into an awkward position. So to do that, we used a mega boom on a large wind-up stand, and then we placed a number 2 mirror on the end of the boom and articulated the position of the boom and the position of the mirror in order to get the light to fall exactly where we wanted it to. So then we use the Aperture 600X and the Spotlight mount adapter with the 19-degree lens in order to get a nice narrow beam angle, which is really controlled and perfect for hitting just our mirror. Then we needed a little bit of fill, so we brought in a 200 with a 30-120 strip box with an egg crate and had that hitting just the front of our speaker to create a little bit of fill. There is just something really nice about how the light falls off when it's traveling over a greater distance. So from it traveling from here up to the mirror and then back down to there, something magic happens to the light. It just gives you a look that feels more convincing and more natural. So that's a very quick overview of the GODOX LiteFlow, specifically the LiteFlow50 kit, the kit that we've got here. If you're interested in learning any more, head over to our website or our YouTube channel, or get in touch.